21st of October 2022. This isn't financial advice, I don't know you. So anything I say you shouldn't take as advice for what you should do personally. You need to do your own homework and do your own research accordingly. So anyway, into it. I just want to go over a few previous charts to give some context of some new trades, some actually shorts from ones that I'm looking at. So first is DocuSign. Now these are extreme examples for sure. So 2020 obviously had just a huge period here. So back it up, IPO base here, undercut its day one IPO, which is what we want to see. So, and this sort of just proved to be sort of an IPO base or a stage one in stand one sign terms. Moved into stage two, crystal clear on that, very powerful up thrust, very minor sort of shallow pullbacks. And then towards the end of 2020, moved into this stage three. Lots of chop, false breakout here, false breakdown here. And you can see here, and this is what I sort of call this sort of last gasp. So I had one final sort of tilt, like moving into a new stage two, and then rolled over and moving. This is the weekly, sorry. Moving averages turned into resistance, not support, and then down she went, along with a bunch of other tech stocks. So yeah, imagine how many people. I don't know if I was in this. Actually, I might have even traded this one myself. So imagine how many people were thinking here that, look how good this thing is, DocuSign's going to the moon, blah, 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 and being sort of sucked into thinking this is a stage two, only to be just, surely disappointed as that part of the market in particular rolled over. A bunch of other charts look very similar. TDOC, very similar looking chart. This was discussed in a video. This is one of my sort of most painful, if not my most painful trade ever. Again, stage two in 2020. Lots of narrative here, but no one's going to go to doctors anymore, etc. Moved into stage three, sort of chopping around, tried to break down, didn't, and then had one sort of last gasp, moving into a new stage two, and then rolled over, and away it went. So why I say that, I'm just looking at that in the context of a few trades. Now I'm going to say up front, I've pinched some of these ideas of this guy called, let's see if I even made a list of this guy on Twitter, Contrarian8888. So worth a follow, looking for sort of contrarian ideas there. So this is IBN, an Indian bank. Now, Indian stocks have actually done pretty well this year, held up much better than other areas such as China stocks. So, as I understand, and I used to do sort of fundamental research before I realised I wasn't very good at it. But anyway, the price to book on this thing's very high. Indian stocks have been still really quite high. So, why should that be the case when everything else is getting dragged down? So this guy's been saying he's shorting IBN. Now, again, this is just on a weekly because the daily is a little bit more of a sketchy chart. Similar looking to TDOC and DocuSign at the end of their runs. So decent sort of stage two move here. Has been basing here, so been looking very much like a stage three, however, like false breakdown here, sort of back into the base. And to me, that's sort of looking like it might be a bit premature to tell you the truth, like a last gasp sort of move here, and all of this now it's sort of rolling over, tried to sort of move up and not looking so good. Now, I say not quite as dramatic as the others, and how much this will drop, I don't know. Probably not as much as 90% like these tech stocks. So, but I think you could make the case here that this is very much a stage three. It's had one sort of final run here. Now, again, put it in the context of the rest of the market. Stock markets around the world are in a world of pain. Why should this thing sort of be holding up? I understand also that the PE of Indian stocks is very high. Well, as high as it's ever been in the last 20 odd years. So I can see the fundamentals as to why this thing should be moving lower, and I think the chart is probably suggesting it here. So I'm looking at buying some puts on this one. So also want to say in the context that the more I'm looking at the market, I could just easily see it rolling over again from here. So I want to sort of step up to the plate a bit more than rather just sitting on the sidelines all the time. So I am now a bit more actively looking for short ideas via buying puts. So IBN is one of those similar sort of note auto dealers. Now, auto dealers, it's no great secret that used car prices went up a lot in the pandemic. Back of things like semis being in shortage, etc., etc. Now they are coming down. They're coming down pretty rapidly. So auto dealers potentially have got a bit of a world of hurt coming to them. Interestingly, though, it doesn't look like it's been sort of really particularly well priced into the stock prices here. So again, look at this one. Big powerful move up. It's been basing. It was at a stage 1, it was at stage 3. Very much looked like a stage sort of 3 sort of here, as it was sort of had a bit of a fake sort of roll down into a stage 4, got back, another sort of fake roll over here. Then again, we're seeing this last gasp. So this, they went from 34 to 60. What's that, in July to sort of September? Like, why? I don't see anything particularly amazing about these earnings figures here. Look, you can see the earnings are in general sort of decelerating here. Earnings coming up pretty soon. So again, this is looking to me like it's had a crack at a last gasp, sort of move into a stage 2, failed that, and sort of rolling over from here. So this is another one I'm looking at buying puts on. Now, if the market sort of deteriorates and they come out with average earnings, you can see something like this actually just dropping really quite significantly. So similar ones, GPI, similar-ish looking chart. Not really so much that last gasp apart from maybe there, but rolling over. All the same, you can see the moving average now turning into resistance, not support. So to me, you can see here, it's sort of looking like a stock that wants to move lower. And what was the other one? Asbury, sorry. Almost really had the sort of last gasp right there, and it's sort of just been trying ever since and just not really doing it. So again, looking like it's sort of rolling over there. So there's some shorts via puts that I'm looking at. In all of these, they're fairly liquid, so I'm going to have a crack at putting these on. It might mean just having to be a little bit patient, but yeah, I can definitely see sort of a downside to come in those. Now, just quickly, I mentioned PBT in the last video. Didn't actually manage to get the trade on there. Again, a bit of liquid these options, so I just didn't get set there. So yeah, haven't bought anything there. Anyway, well, let's see how these will go.